welcome to this episode of Small Bike Stuff, where I'm going to ride this Honda Deluxe frame. It's got a Chinese swapped engine. It's producing a bit more power than they came out of the factory with. It's got wide aftermarket alloy rims that are actually saved from the scrap metal, and so was this bike. It was saved from the scrap metal too. It was destined to 100% go to the scrap man. It was with the scrap man when it was saved by Paul. Off we go. This is an interesting area, community garden, and there used to be a railway station here until the early 70s. This is the Deluxe frame, my favourite of the Honda Cub frames. It rides really nicely, and by all rights it shouldn't. This should be an absolute piece of crap, and some would say it is, but this is one of my favourite things about the world of small bikes. This bike was literally on a trailer heading to the metal scrap, and it was saved from the metal scrap, and it was in a state. The rust holes were fixed, all the parts it didn't have were sourced, and now it's a working, riding Honda Cub, the most mass-produced bike in the world, bar none. And I'm riding this one here, which could have been one of the bikes that never made it, but this one here is still on the road and going for it. It's been repowered. The original engine was in no shape to continue. It had that real nice kind of fin shaped engine with the fin side cover. I'll throw a photo up now, and unfortunately that's no longer in place, but we do have a 125cc Lifan engine sitting between my feet, and it's got plenty of power. Like, I'm really impressed with what this can do. It's a nice little machine. It's been well put together. I can just sit here in fourth gear and just roll around, or if I want, we drop a gear and we can start sending it. It's semi-automatic, so it's retained the semi-automatic usefulness of the Honda Super Cub. And some people like manual, some people like semi-automatic. One new news flash with these motors: if you don't know, you can get manual or semi-automatic versions, and you can make a manual fit this if you want to. You just need to get switch blocks from something else. I can't remember what they are. CG maybe, something like that. See, that was fourth gear around the corner, second, down into first. Whee! And in first gear, you can just lift the front up quite happily. So, yeah, I'm pretty chuffed riding this. But yeah, I mean, the Honda Cub story, we can talk about that. Soichiro Honda wanted a bike. Was not the first bike Honda ever made. You know, they had the Type D, I think it was, in the late 40s. This thing here came out 58-ish. And they wanted a bike someone could deliver a whole bunch of soba noodles one-handed. So that's where the semi-automatic thing came from. And it does the job. It does what it was meant to do. That lifting of the front, that GoPro is probably smoothing out there, is me putting the front brakes on. It's got the leading link suspension, and the leading link suspension on the front is a bit interesting to get used to, but you know, it's not that bad. I just need to get through this intersection and I'll have a chat with you. Oh, I forget I'm on a bike. I can just go forward a little bit if I want to. You see how much more useful these are with an engine swap. Doing these riding videos, I have a habit of just waffling, and which means just continuously talking about nothing. But there is a point to my conversation here. What I'm trying to say is this is kind of the quintessential small bike story. Something that was destined to go to the scrap, and it's been saved, and now, you know, I can sit here riding it on New Zealand roads happily. And it can keep up with traffic. You've got passenger footpegs. You can put someone on the back if you really wanted to. It's just a fun little machine, and I really enjoy riding it. But we've got a red light coming up, so that's sad. One thing with these semi-automatics is the clutches can go a little bit out of spec, and then they do what this is doing, which is pulling. Oh look, that's an ex-New Zealand army truck. They release them out into the wild every now and then. I don't know what they are. I'll be able to tell you because that number plate on the back will let me search it up. So I'll put it on the screen what that is now. Doing it is the number plate. Here we go. Oh, breathing in that diesel. That's cool. NZ Army. Nice. Some fella and his wife going for a drive. Oh, they're behind me now. I feel pressure. What I'm doing right now, just riding around the city for fun, is genuinely one of the best uses of the Honda Super Cub. This is much more fun in a group of people, but you can just kind of roll around at city limits. You can have races with each other without breaking the speed limits, and it's just honestly an enjoyable machine. If you've never actually had the chance to ride a Honda Super Cub and you do get one presented to you someday, please take that up, and if you can, seek out an opportunity to ride the Super Cub. Seek it out. I will actually be riding the new Super Cub in a future video on small bike stuff, so if you're watching this and it's more than, you know, a few months since it was released, go have a look for the new Super Cub 125 video. I'm not going to do a GPS speed test. This is an 80 kph road, and I just want to see what speeds we can kind of do. Can we keep up with traffic? And when we're keeping up with traffic, what does the indicated speed on the speedometer say? Second. Third. That Hyundai is beating me. Third. Still winding out third. Fourth. And we'll tuck. So indicated 75. I'm pulling up to this car behind, in front of me, sorry, this Nissan Tita, and I'm having to let off the throttle a bit. Alright, now I'm wide open. I don't think I'll be able to pass. I've got no extra power. I have to let off because they think I'm trying to get too close to them. Hopefully they turn off. They are. Alright, let's open it up. I genuinely get more speed if I tuck, by the way, so if you saw me riding like this, you'd probably laugh. This is really nice. So this is tuned really conservatively. It's got the original carburetor that comes with the 125 kit, so it's not going to be able to go ridiculously quick, and the 125s are a fairly lazy engine anyway. But with the gearing as well, so whatever sprockets this thing has, which I imagine are pretty much stock, yeah, I'm holding what seems to be 75 to 80 kilometers an hour quite happily. Could we get more? Yes. I'm a big boy, so my weight is not helping here. But I imagine this thing could probably tapped out with a much lighter rider and a little bit better gearing. Probably do 90-ish. These 125s really aren't the ticket for doing 100 kilometers happily. The fuel injected Honda 125s, you can get them to 100-ish. But yeah, as soon as you come across hills or anything, they generally tend to just slow down. So yeah, this engine will sit like this happily until the tank runs out. It's not anywhere near its red line. The terminal velocity with gearing and such has been met well before red line. I'm going to turn off this highway shortly anyway. So yeah, this is what it's like riding a it's very loud and it doesn't have a loud pipe either. It's all intake noise. This is what it's like riding a Honda with a Chinese engine swap on the highway. It's not really fast enough for American highway speeds, but here in New Zealand with these small little expressways, an 80 kph limit, you can get away with it. Alrighty, we're going to end the video here. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.